Hi there, it's Xanthi again, just making a fourth quick video from some notes I've written in the last week about bipolar. I have bipolar 1 disorder, PTSD, social anxiety. At the moment my mood is a bit elevated, so yeah, I would be hypomanic at the moment, but sometimes I have some spikes with some mania type of symptoms, so I kind of fluctuate between the two. So that's why I've been taking some self-care recently. I've spent the weekend sedated basically and sleeping, and been managing to get through my part-time work, although my brain hasn't felt as efficient as normal, but I've still been able to mask it because people at work haven't really noticed. Like I work as a merchandiser, so I don't work closely with people, but I do talk to certain people briefly. So yeah, and then because I've also been kind of fluctuating between being exhausted. Like last night I felt completely brain dead. When I feel brain dead I just feel burnt out and exhausted, so I've been kind of going back and forth. I saw my psychologist today. She said just keeping an eye on me. I'm managing and coping with it. It's just keeping an eye on things basically, because when I'm a bit manic I do quite a lot of processing, so even though it's uncomfortable for me, the euphoric hypomania and mania can feel absolutely amazing, but the when there's anxiety and stuff and trauma stuff can feel a bit crappy at times. So kind of mixed, there's mixed features here and there, but because I'm not suicidal I am in touch with reality, even though I am having a bit of difficulty expressing myself. It's taking quite a lot of mental effort to try and say a coherent sentence. But I thought I'd make a video anyway, a few videos, because I've been avoiding it all week. Because I've been too tired and just trying to, it's like I fluctuate between high energy, low energy, high energy, low energy, so it's been a bit of a pain in the bum. But okay, so what I wanted to briefly talk to you about was a little bit about how crashing feels like. I did make another video about what breakdowns, nervous breakdowns, which isn't a clinical term, but to describe to you a bit about what it feels like there. The psychologists and psychiatrists tend to use the word crashing when they're talking about going from an elevated mood down into depression, and it happens really fast. So crashing is a really good description for it. It's also a little bit like a car or a train literally crashing. Can't stop, crash. Whereas a breakdown, you think about a car and it's just broken and it stops. I think with the bipolar, I think the crashing is probably a better description of what happens. It is, pretty bad. When you have a smaller crash, it feels uncomfortable, but some processing can happen. Like I had recently to do with just some processing, some tears, let out a lot of pain, but working through some stuff. Okay, but I did crash in my mood a bit, but then sleep it all off, feel a little bit, so I'm still doing the going back and forth at the moment. The massive crash when I've been in mania or hypomania for months and months, and mania but going back and forth, and basically with a ginormous crash, I've ended up being hospitalised because I felt like I was going to die because my anxiety just became extreme, and I was also alternating between having shutdowns and panic attacks and just non-stop. It was very distressing. Feels like, I guess, an analogy, it'd be like you're falling off a cliff and being seriously injured. When I had a period of medication, because I told the psychiatrist I'm not bipolar, I don't want your medications, so they said okay then, but we're here if you need to come back. So anyway, I went manic, then crashed badly and went back, and while I was in the crashing phase, I was there in my pyjamas holding a soft toy, and the psychiatrist says, you know you're not well, don't you? And I was too exhausted after days and days of no sleep to get any words out. I just said, And like, I was like, wow, most people don't know that they're unwell. But later I was able to tell them that falling off the cliff hurts, and when you've done it more than once, you kind of know what it feels like to start sliding off that cliff again. When I am manic, I get a huge release of emotion that I had shut down from trauma, and it's like when they put me back on the meds, I said it's like you're putting a bucket under the Hooker Falls. The Hooker Falls is a big waterfall in New Zealand, a really powerful waterfall. Yeah, it took months to try and stabilise me to any degree, and I had actually asked to be minimally medicated, because when they medicate me to what it looks like is fine to them, I am so shut down that I am like a zombie and I can't live like that, and all of the pain is just trapped inside and can't get out. So I kind of do observe that being a bit up in my mood is when I can do the processing. I can face my fears, I can do the processing. It's like everything gets activated and can move, but then there's the danger of everything getting terribly out of control, and that loss of control is like going really, really fast down the hill on a bike with no brakes and then crashing. So the medications are a bit like the brakes. Sometimes they're a little bit too aggressive with them, and then they can actually induce a crash. Some medications can make you go high. So it's kind of a bit of a balancing act. I think that the extreme anxiety that I get with all of the PTSD symptoms, which get exaggerated when I am in an episode of either mania or depression, feels like hell. I was brought up in a very religious environment, and I no longer believe in all of that, but I don't fear a religious hell because I've already been to hell. So mania can feel like your brain is on fire. Sort of thought it was like a Catherine's wheel spinning, and then with the crash, it's like all this rocket fuel burning up, and so I will just binge eat carbohydrates and fatty things. Just eat a whole tub of ice cream. It's like I can't feed what my brain is burning up quick enough. That's happened like when they've been too aggressive with the meds and induced a crash. So yeah, for a while I tried quite a few different meds because I was just going up and down quite severely. I've had lots of crashes, breakdowns, whatever you want to call them. I've never actually fully recovered from it, from the first one that I had when I was 20. It's like my brain cannot fully function anymore. I went through a phase at high school where I was very high performing academically, and university, and in my third year of university I was getting like all A's pretty much. No, think I only got, I think I only had 2 Bs. Yeah, and I only had, the rest of them were A's. And then I had 6 months to go, and then I had a major breakdown, which they call in medical terms a decompensation state. But I wasn't diagnosed for a couple more years. They finally diagnosed me with depression, and then it wasn't until my 40s I was diagnosed with bipolar. So I've been on this huge roller coaster, very high, crashing low, very high, crashing low. And during extremely mood episodes where they're very high, very low, can't function enough to work, and the crashing just, yeah, cannot function for months. It's just, I can't even function fully now, partly the combination of the mood disorder plus the post-traumatic stress disorder, which I'm having trauma therapy for. So I currently work part-time because I cannot handle full-time working. What else? Yeah, it feels extremely distressing to have to be overwhelmed with really unpleasant emotions like grief and loss emotions, for example, and that's when I have felt suicidal. So yeah, I was told nothing about this kind of stuff when I was diagnosed, so that's one of the reasons I'm making videos. I hope I am not too hard for you to understand, because my brain is partially dissociated when I am talking, which makes it quite hard for me to express myself coherently. Yet I felt like I wanted to make some videos anyway, partly to face the fear of how people see me, so that's my social anxiety. Part of it is fearing what other people think, and part of it is having a voice when I sometimes could not have a voice. So I hope I haven't prattled on for too long, and I will hopefully touch on some other topics when I feel like it. This is a journal, it's just an exercise book. My writing gets really messy when I'm manic or hypomanic. Yeah, I see a psychologist weekly, which I can, you know, just get out stuff, help figure out stuff, and I've probably prattled on for long enough. So thank you for listening.